Hello everyone, this is Misha Houston, and I'm here to do my review for the haves and the have-nots. Tonight's episode is entitled Elevator 7, and Veronica is just getting worse and worse and worse in this. She just doesn't get it. She's just an awful, horrible person, and I'm just sick of her on my television screen. The first group of people we go to is Veronica, David, and Erika. Veronica sits down at the table with David and Erika. David wants to speak with Veronica outside, but Veronica refuses to leave, saying that she's comfortable right there. Veronica threatens David, saying that she will make a scene if he touches her. Veronica accuses David of wanting to touch Erika, and Erika says yes, he does. Veronica questions Erika. Where did you come from, child? Erika answers, from my mother and my father. Veronica says you need to go and find them. Erika says she's good right there, but Veronica says it's only a false sense of security. David pleads with Veronica to leave, but she refuses. Veronica orders Erika to find her mama and hide underneath her breast, even though that may not be safe either. Veronica warns Erika again that a hurricane is coming. David tries to quiet Veronica, but she keeps on with her normal threats, insults, and curses. David takes Erika by the hand and walks her away from the table. Veronica asks them both, are you going to sleep with her? Veronica follows them to the elevator. David doesn't want her to get inside of the elevator, but she does anyway. Inside the elevator, Veronica hits the stop button and then blocks the control panel. Since cameras are in the elevator, David doesn't want to get physical with her. David wants her to move out of the way, but she refuses. Erika tells David to stay calm, and David teases her about it. Erika says just ignore her and tells her that she's not afraid of Veronica. Erika tells Veronica to move multiple times, but Veronica refuses. Of course she refuses. Erika then threatens to move her. Veronica threatens her back by saying that she'll press charges, but Erika is not intimidated by her at all. David tells Erika that he put a restraining order out on her and that she's not to be anywhere near him. Erika says that she's not listening, and both David and Veronica agree with that. Veronica says she's not leaving until he listens to her. David asks Veronica, what does she want? What do you want, Veronica? I have given you money and everything that you have asked for. What more do you want from me? Veronica wants to make his life a living hell. You know, her normal threats and her intimidation. And then David says that you're doing that already. Veronica then accuses David of embarrassing her, but David says that you were the one who embarrassed yourself by throwing your affair with Benjamin Young in my face. She says that she's still sleeping with him, and David could care less. You know, it's just some, pitiful attempt, to try and make him jealous, but he's not falling for it. He's finished with Veronica. And he should have been finished a long time ago. David says, so what do you want from me? What do you want to let go? So you can, what do you want from, excuse me, y'all. David said, let us go, and then you can go back to Benny if you want. Veronica says that she's not ready to let him go. David asks, what more do you want from me for you to let me go? Veronica says she just wants blood, as if she didn't get enough blood when she had Maggie Day killed. She says, you think that you can take me and then toss me aside for some whore? Erika says, oh, you want to see a whore? And then David apologizes to Erika, saying that you don't deserve this treatment. Erika says that she's fine. Then she reaches for her purse and then hits the camera with it. Veronica calls her resourceful and says, you think I can't prove in a court that you hit me? Erika says she's not going to hit her at all. Veronica says that she was hoping that Erika would have hit her because she's looking for a reason to fight her and kick her ass. Erika says, I have no intention of ever hitting you. And besides, do you need more of a reason than me being with your man? Erika assures Veronica that her and David are truly together, and then Erika kisses David. Veronica says, get off of him. And Erika says, what, do you want to watch? Do you want to join in? And you can see by the smile on David's face that he is enjoying the fact that Erika is, giving it back to Veronica. She's not letting, Veronica push her around and push him around. And you can really see the smile on his face. Veronica tells her again, get off of him. And then she hits Erika with her purse. And then both of them start to fight. They start fighting, and it's a big cat fight, and it goes on for about 25 seconds, and that's a long time to be fighting someone. Veronica screams that she is a bitch and a whore, and she begs David to let me kick her ass. Erika is screaming right back at Veronica, saying you are nothing but a crazy bitch, and that I would love to see you do it. David is scrambling between the two of them to keep both of them apart, and he eventually screams at Erika to stop. He slides past Veronica and then presses the security button. The security answers, and he screams at them, saying that we're stuck in an elevator. The security then gets the elevator moving again, and then Veronica starts lying and screams that they are attacking her. She goes so far as to fall on the floor and start crying. The door finally opens, and David and Erika walk out. A security guard asks her if she is okay, and then she said, you're too late, and then walks out herself. I just don't really see the point of Veronica anymore other than to start a whole bunch of mess. That's all that she does, and it's really, starting to get old with me. It's just the same thing over and over and over again, and I kind of wish Tyler would write her in a different direction, because to me it's just getting old. It's getting old and played out for sure. Now, the next group of people we go to is Charles Landon and his campaign staff. In Charles's room, Landon, him, and Charles, and his campaign staff are working on his speech. Landon is rudely interrupting him, and Charles, eventually says that you've been busting my chops all day. What's wrong with you? After the members of the campaign staff leave, Landon says, the young lady that you were with last night, have you vetted her? Have you vetted her? Have you checked her out? Landon asks this because he knows her. Charles says, how do you know her? And then Landon says he knows her because he was working with the gubernatorial candidate that she blackmailed. Landon feels that Candace is too dangerous to have around, especially when he's so close to winning the election. Charles, just brushes it off and says, okay. Landon then asks him, did you sleep with her last night? And, Charles doesn't want to answer that question, but he eventually does. He says that, yes, he did sleep with her. Landon warns Charles that she is a blackmailer and she's wanted for murder. He says that, she is not the type of person that you want around. Landon advises him not to see her again. But Charles then declares that he likes her. Landon says, you will be making the fatal mistake like many other men have. Landon pulls out his tablet and shows a photo of her as an escort on a escort site. Charles says that he has seen this. Landon asks, are you defending her now? And Charles says, no, I'm not. That's your job. Charles expects Landon to clean up Candace's past, photos, articles, etc. off of the net, which is something that is absolutely and almost impossible to do. Charles says to Landon, I have heard your affirmation and I have made my decision. Clean up her image. Landon agrees. Landon agrees Charles is thinking. Landon agrees. And then Charles tells him that he's thinking about inviting her to the inauguration. Landon warns him that her skeletons will be in view in front of the nation. Charles tells him again to clean up her image. He tells him to show her what to wear and teach her how to be in those rooms. Charles then dismisses Landon and he leaves the room. Now, outside in the hallway, Landon calls, I'm assuming he calls the police, saying that he spotted Candace in the Artesian Hotel, room 3031. Charles thinks he's so smug and so arrogant, thinks he can have it all. But I have to say this. He's not going to get to the White House with Candace on his arm. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. The next two people we go to is Wyatt and Anna. Now, in Wyatt's apartment, Anna and he are talking. Wyatt says he feels fine, but now he has to deal with his life. Anna asks, what's so bad about your life? He says that she has no idea. He says she doesn't have, he tries to get her to leave, but apparently she just wants to stay there. She says it's her job to be there for him if he wants to talk about it. He asks her, how does she know about all of this? And she admits that she was an addict for 10 years, since she was 16 years old. He says he can't judge her even if he wanted to, and asks her how did she get into drugs at 16 years old. She says that her mother started her on anti-anxiety pills and moved her on to crystal meth. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. But in time, she managed to forgive her mother and father. He asked her, how did you manage to do that? And then she said that she realized that she was just hurting herself more than she was hurting him. She admits that she was trying to intentionally hurt them and herself. She asks, does that sound familiar? And he says it does sound familiar, yes. She asks, are they good parents? They seem to love you. And then he says, they may seem to love him, but actually loving him is two completely different things. She asks, does anyone else love him? He says that his sister loved him before she died. He doesn't think anyone else loves him, and then he says no. He says that his parents never made him feel loved. They made him feel like he was nothing but an inconvenience to them. She says she knows how it feels. She says her parents weren't the best people. And she said that they were also drug addicts themselves. So she left and never looked back. Wyatt thinks that she had it worse off than him, because at least they had money. At least they had money and means. She says, no matter if you had means or not, we're still here. We're still, we've still ended up in this place. She says, if it weren't for Dr. Jarvis, she wouldn't know where she'd be. She says that he ran a youth program in the group home that she was in. Wyatt thinks that he's mainly running a racket because of all the money he's charging for this. She says that his life is about to change for the better. She says she knows it because she's a fortune teller. She starts to flirt with him a little bit. Wyatt says he hopes that she is right because he needs a bright spot. They toast, then they share a toast with each other and says that he's never toasted with water before. It's not that bad. Now, the next two people we go to is Jim and Mama Rose Malone. Jim is driving as Mama Rose calls. She says that she is not good and not happy. She asks, have you found him yet? And Jim says no, but he is working on it. She's also having trouble finding him as well, and that's a problem. He asks her not to do anything drastic. He says he will find him eventually. Then he asks her for a favor, and then she says, you have the nerve to ask me for another favor? Jim says, we have done a lot for each other in the past. And he says that he's watched over her and her guys while he was on the bench. He asks, she asks him, how much do you think that's worth now? Jim tells her, I've also, watched over you as well. And Rose says that she knows that. She knows that very well. But she asks him, do I need to run down for you all of the favors I've done? And Jim says, no, you don't have to do that. And it's good that we've had each other's backs. Then Rose says, no, this is a different situation. She says that he is completely out of favors with her and that she needs to send a message. Jim pleads with her, but she says not to worry, I'm not going to kill you. She says that she needs for him to know how angry and pissed off she is. Jim says there is no need for this. There's no need for this. When I find him, I will bring him directly to you. Rose says that you are out of time. Jim asks, what are you going to do? But she refuses to answer his question and hangs up the phone. Nervously, after she hangs up, he calls Oscar, wanting him to answer the phone. Jim, is putting, in my opinion, too much on Oscar. All these messes that he's making. The whole world can clean up his messes for him. He needs to kind of deal with his own crap and stop worrying people like Mama Rose and Oscar to help him clean it up. It's his mess. He needs to clean it up. The next group of people we go to is Hannah, the desk sergeant, Justin, and Catherine. Hannah is at the police station talking to the desk sergeant. She refuses to give out any information on Benny. Then Hannah asks for Officer Justin Lewis, and she goes to get him. Hannah tells Justin that she tells Justin that her son is here. She wants to know what's he in for. And Justin tells her that he's being questioned about Quincy Maxwell's murder. She asks to see him, but Justin refuses to let her. And he said that even if he could go to see her, even if she could go in to see him, that the Secret Service is questioning him. And, Hannah is shocked by this. She asked him, what is this? What is all of this about? What's going on? Justin says that he might be charged with murder. Hannah asks again if she could see him, but Justin says no. Justin then tells her that you might want to get your son a lawyer because he's in trouble. After that, Hannah then calls Catherine and tells her everything that she found out about Benny. Catherine is shocked by the news as well, and she tells Hannah to stay calm, that she's going to get a lawyer and that she'll be down there very soon. Well, this mess with Benny is crazy. The next group of people we go to is Agent Davis, Benny, and Mitch. Benny is still in the interrogation room with Agent Davis. Agent Davis offers him a cigarette, but Benny just wants to go home. Agent Davis says that he can't go just yet, but he is not under arrest. He thinks that this is complete and utter BS, and Benny just wants to make a phone call to his mother, Hannah. Agent Davis says that that she is outside waiting to talk to him. He asks Agent Davis how long has she been out there, but Agent Davis isn't sure. Even though Benny has federal restrictions upon him, he lets him use his cell phone. And he tries to call Hannah, but apparently she's not answering the phone. Then he calls Mitch. Mitch says he can't come down there right now because of a possible situation going on with his family, but he will come down there as soon as he can to get Hannah. Agent Davis knows he's being railroaded. He says that you've made some enemies in some high places. Benny tells the agent that he has done nothing wrong and that he has no reason to lie. And then the agent says, I guess. I can't wait for Candace to find out that Charles is behind this. I cannot wait. She is going to be pissed when she finds out that he was put in this situation because of Charles Frederickson. Oh, she's going to be so angry. It seems like anytime that anybody ever attacks her brother, she just goes on the warpath. The next three people we go to is Erika, David, and Candace. David is asleep, and Erika goes to the bathroom to talk to Candace. Candace needs a wireless hookup and a phone. Erika, multiple times tries to get her location, but she never gives Erika her room number. She says that she's in her room waiting for John. Candace asks her, why are you asking me all these questions? Please just get me a phone. Candace refused to give her room number and says that she's changing her room every day. Erika says that she wanted to talk to her in person about Veronica and what happened with her. Candace says be careful around her because she plays on a higher level. Erika says that's good because then I can cut her down to her knees. Candace asks about David, and Erika says that she put him to sleep. Candace tells her to hang up the phone immediately. And she says that I've helped you this far along, and you need to hang up the phone right now. Erika says she'll talk to her later, and Candace says yes with a phone. Then Erika pokes her head outside of the bathroom door, then goes back in and then starts texting someone, possibly Warlock. This next scene, we are back with Wyatt and Anna in his apartment. Wyatt and Anna are playing cards, and Wyatt is agitated and wants another fix. He says, how do I want it and not go out and get it? Anna says that you can stay here and enjoy her company. She asks him, what do you do for fun? And then Wyatt just says, besides getting high, I just go off and just have sex. She assures him that they won't be doing any of that. Wyatt says that it wasn't an invitation, and Anna says thank you. Wyatt then says, you thought it was an invitation? And Anna says, I knew that it wasn't. Wyatt says, what if it had been an invitation? And then Anna says that then I would have to call Dr. Jarvis, and then I would be moved to another patient. Wyatt says, you thought about it, huh? And then, he compliments her, saying that she's hot and beautiful, and she says that you are too, but that's not what I'm here for. Wyatt asks if she's single, and she says yes, she is single. Then Wyatt says, oh, you would be ethically bothered by it. And Anna asks him, wouldn't you be bothered by it? And Wyatt says, no, he wouldn't. Anna knows he's trying to trade one addiction for another, and she invites him to go work out instead, but he says no. She says he's going to have to find something healthy to do besides getting high and having sex. It would help him get past his urges. He asks Anna, will these urges ever pass completely? And Anna says they will, and they will become manageable in time. She asks what has brought him to this point, and he said that he OD'd and almost died, and it scared him into wanting to get clean. She said that she also OD'd as well, and she did it on purpose because she wanted to end her life. She thanks God that she failed, the suicide attempt failed, because her life is so much better now. Wyatt is glad, that he didn't die from the overdose, and he's also glad that she didn't die from her overdose as well. And he hopes that things will work out for him as they have worked out for her. Anna thanks him, and then she invites him for a walk, but he just says he just wants to sit here and play cards. She says that she's proud of him, and he says thanks. I hope this works for him, because I am so tired of Wyatt and this drug line storyline. I'm just sick of the drug storyline. It's so lame and boring. They've been doing it since episode 1, and I'm so over it now. Let's move on to something else besides him and these drugs. The next 3 people we go to is Landon, Jeffrey, and Justin. Justin sees Landon at the bar, and he goes to sit down next to him. Jeffrey asks, what are you doing here? And Landon says that I'm working on Charles Ferguson campaign. Landon asks how Jeffrey is doing, but he says there's just a lot going on right now, and he's stressed out. Landon thinks that it's all about Candace. And then Jeffrey says that she is also wanted for murder. Landon thinks it is scary, and Jeffrey agrees with him. Landon offers him a drink, and Jeffrey accepts. Jeffrey wants a double of something, and Landon hopes that because he's drinking, he'll get lucky tonight. Jeffrey tells him don't count on it because he's not interested. Landon asks him is he still pining away for Wyatt, and Jeffrey says no, he's not. Landon thinks Jeffrey is in a drought, and so is he. Landon wants Jeffrey to water his garden. He starts hitting up on him. And but Jeffrey is obviously not interested. He's not interested, and he just wants to go back to his room. Landon asks can he join him, but as I said before, Jeffrey is not in for that. He's not looking for sex. He just wants to drink and be alone. Jeffrey tries to leave the bar area, but Landon stops him. Landon asks him why is he so stressed out, Why is he so stressed out? But Jeffrey doesn't want to talk about it. Oh, he never wants to talk about it. He just holds it in and holds it in and holds it in. I'm surprised he don't have cancer by now. The way he holds everything in, I can't do that. Landon asks, do you want to talk? You don't want to talk about sex, and you don't want to talk about what's stressing you out. What do you want to talk about? Landon then brings up Candace, and he doesn't want to talk about that either. Jeffrey just wants his drink, and Landon suggests a double shot of something. Landon confesses to Jeffrey that he was the best lover that he ever had. He says that he was amazing, but Jeffrey says, well, thank you for that, but I barely knew what I was doing at the time. Landon teases Jeffrey, saying, oh, so now you know what you're doing? Landon says that he thinks about him all the time and thinks that his body and his booty and his body and his sexual technique is amazing. Jeffrey, drinks his drink and then leaves the bar, with Landon following him. They go into the elevator, the same elevator that David and Erika and Veronica were just in a few minutes ago, and Landon proceeds to throw himself at him. Landon is reaching for him and grabbing on him and getting on his knees before him, and he's begging and he's aching for it. Jeffrey scrambles to keep Landon off of him. Landon, is drunk, and he just wants it really bad. He follows Jeffrey into his room, and there is Justin, another one of his lovers, one of his desperate, greedy lovers, naked on his bed. Jeffrey got a lot of men. He had Wyatt begging for him. He got Landon begging. Now he's got Justin. He got a lot of guys. It's crazy. The last scene of the night belongs to the Malones. A white van drives into a television station and throws Jennifer Sellison's dead body out of the back of the van, and then they drive away. A woman walks by and sees the body and starts screaming, and that is how the story ends. This is just a crazy, crazy episode by Tyler Perry. I mean, he's practically known for these crazy episodes, and I appreciate him for it. Come back next week for my new video. The next episode will be entitled A Broken Mirror. My MVP of the episode is Erika. Now, I have no great love for Erika, but I do appreciate anyone who stands up to Veronica. So, because of that fact alone, she is my MVP. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you like my video, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will be back next week for the next episode of The Haves and the Have-Nots. Enjoy your life as I do, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much.